Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and welcome to my official Season 2 tier list for Overwatch 2. This is where you guys make fun of me, I cry, and I question my existence and wonder, am I actually trash at Overwatch? The answer is yes. So, let's get it started. Now, this meta has been an absolute roller coaster. At the beginning of the season, we had Sojourn get nerfed and Doomfist get buffed, but they both ended up being meta for about a week and a half, and then they got hotfixed where they both got nerfed, but Ramattra got better, and then he also got added into competitive. In fact, that's the first tier we're going to be talking about is Ramattra. Now, at first, I wasn't buying into the hype. I believed that he was one of the worst tanks, and he was, but then they made him better. They made his nemesis form have a lot more health, and they also made it so that he can be this aggro tank, go and create space, but also just punch everybody, whether it's a Reinhardt, a Winston, another Ramattra. All you gotta do is just punch, punch, punch. That's why I'm buying into the hype, and that's also why I'm putting him at A tier, and I'm willing to be wrong here. Maybe it's just because he recently got added into competitive, and that's why I've been seeing Ramattra being played a lot. But I mean, from my personal experience, I've been winning a lot with Ramattra. His toolkit allows him to be aggro and go after those backline supports that just never die. And you're gonna see a lot of heroes that are able to go and attack that backline be super relevant right now, because if you attack the backline and kill them, then you should win the team fight, because it's like taking the legs out of a chair. And Ramattra, with his ultimate or just his nemesis form, allows you to do that. D.va, our favorite E-girl, while she was super popular at the beginning, right now, not so much. D.va's really good at peeling and protecting your backline if they have flank heroes like a Genji or a Tracer, and plus if they have an enemy Winston, this is a great counter tank to try to play. Plus, with the rise in popularity of Ashe and Sojourn and these other hit scan heroes, D.va can be a viable tank, but then again, there's other tanks that can just go and kill them, you know, and that's the best way to win a team fight. That's why D.va's very forgettable, and I'm putting her in C tier, and you're gonna, I always say this with tanks, there's better tanks to play, and at that point, well, why are we even considering the other tanks possibly being better? Just play those good tanks, because there's only one tank to play. Doomfist, how are we feeling about the Doomfist there? Doomfist I would have put at S tier if I would have done this video before the hotfix, but now, if you're a Doomfist one trick, which it seems like that's the only people that were playing Doomfist before the buzz, and now after the nerfs, the people that are pouring hours into trying to learn his techs and movements, which you can still do, and you can still be this annoying mobile tank. That's why I'm not putting him anywhere close to the bottom, but I'm even putting him at B tier. While those nerfs were devastating, they're not making him completely useless, because you can go and harass the enemy backline, you just don't have a lot of protection compared to someone like Winston, who has a bubble and has a lot shorter cooldowns to be able just to jump back to your healers. Junkrat along with Ramattra were in the hot fixes, and they did make her better, but compared to Ramattra, it's nowhere close. I feel like when it comes to Junkrat, the DPS players that are trying to play tank can make her really, really great, and if you have organized pushes with the Junkrat ultimate, then it can be super powerful. But the problem is, there's one single hero that can cleanse all of it away, and that's Kiriko. That's why I'm putting her at C tier, because her ultimate really doesn't matter if you have a Kiriko, and plus you're in the enemy back line, all you gotta do is cleanse, shoot the Junkrat, and you win. Orisa, on the other hand, has an ultimate that you just need to walk backwards to counter. Her ultimate's not the reason why you're playing Orisa. The reason why you play her is the sustainability, the fact that you eat up so much real estate on push, the fact that you can take any squish like an Ashe or a Cassidy and javelin spin them against the wall against their will, and then throw your javelin to pin them against the wall, and shoot them a couple times in the head and insta-kill them. That's why you're playing Orisa. And the other reason is that Roadhog is super relevant right now. I mean, you can fortify his hook, and even if you do get hooked, you can just fortify to protect yourself from the headshots, and also javelin spin any incoming fire. So that's why I'm putting her at A tier, right next to Ramattra. I don't know who would be better between the two. Hey, I could be so wrong with Ramattra. I will be wrong. Reinhardt, I don't think is gonna be meta anytime soon, especially with the addition of Ramattra, who can just punch through his shield, Orisa, who can just push her away, and Roadhog, who could just bring down Reinhardt's shield. And while the shield from Reinhardt is super helpful against like someone like Sojourn or an ulting soldier, I mean, someone like Winston can still provide a little bit of protection with the shield, but more importantly, he can go and dive and harass the enemy backline, whether it's those hit scans or the support heroes that Reinhardt, he can technically do. It's just a scary sight if you see that. So that's why I'm putting him at C tier. Okay, we've made it to Roadhog. Apparently, he was supposed to be nerfed in the latest hotfix, but Blizzard just forgot to include him. I guess we're forgetting to nerf heroes now. So at least right now, Roadhog is still super good, but what makes him him so good. The fact that he can just ignore who's ever in front of him and just go, identify the Mercy, identify the Kiriko, identify the Lucio. That's why he's S tier. One of the biggest ways that you could counter Roadhog was to anti them, and for years that was the reason why he didn't play Roadhog. But then here came a little Japanese ninja lady to cleanse all of his toxicity away. The toxicity being the anti-grenade. If you don't have a Kiriko and the enemy team has an on it, yeah, he would be like C or a D tier. But because of that, how do you stop a one-shot hook? Maybe a D.va, maybe a Zarya bubble, but also just playing Roadhog yourself too works. The boy Winston, I would describe him as the most meta team oriented take of all time. So if we were all playing the Overwatch League together, I would put him in S tier, but we're not. Unfortunately, we're all a bunch of monkeys, which Winston is not. That's why Roadhog's so great, because you can play solo dolo in ranked, but when it comes to Winston, like he is really great against a lot of heroes, against the Genji, against the Sojourn, against an Ashe, against the Widowmaker. The only problem is Reaper, who is also super popular right now. Maybe that's the reason, is because Winston is super popular. But if this was the Overwatch League, I put him in S tier, but I'm putting him at A tier because he can counter a lot of heroes, dive the enemy backline like I mentioned before, and also provide a tiny bit of protection. But if you want real protection, look no further than Sigma. This is the slow protective tank. You're not going to be playing a Sojourn, a Lucio with this tank. Usually, you're going to be playing more bunker. You're going to be playing with a Baptiste, a Soldier, a Cole, maybe even a Bastion a little bit. Given the certain circumstances of who meshes well with Sigma, that's not really all that meta right now. That's why I'm putting him at B tier, because he can provide great protection, stop a lot of heroes, stop a lot of flank heroes, and do decent amount of DPS. But again, if you want to play more aggro, where you play a Winston, or you just go with your hog, and Hammond, don't, please, there's just so much stopping you. There's the Roadhog hook, there's the Sigma rock, there's a Mei slowdown, there's even a Junkrat, just don't. He's D tier. Don't, please. And Zarya, she was the season 1 tank to play, and then she definitely got overtaken by Roadhog, she got overtaken by Orisa, by even Winston. I mean, Grav is still super powerful, and with the dragon from Genji, or a Hanzo, or Pharah's ultimate, Reaper's ultimate, I can name countless ultimates that are great for Grav, but it's the other team fights that you gotta win, and Zarya just doesn't do it like she used to do it in season 1. She's just not getting enough charge because Roadhog sees, okay, bubble, no hooky, no shooty, so that's why she's forgettable. She's in the C tier right now, just better tanks to play. And that's the final tank that we're gonna be looking at in this tier list for season 2. Our favorite cowboy, Bob with Ashe, is gonna be the first DPS hero. Now, obviously the reason why Ashe is doing so good right now is with the Mercy Pocket, but it's a little bit unfair to put Ashe in A tier because whenever I rank Pharah, I never include Pharmacy. The thing is though, Ashe by herself is still really great compared to other hit scans like a Cole or Soldier or even a Widowmaker. She has decent mobility to get onto high ground, but she does do a copious amount of damage if you're hitting those headshots. So it's not like she desperately needs a Mercy compared to Pharah. That's why I'm still putting her at A tier. She's not a must pick, but in the future hotfix, if she doesn't get nerfed, she's gonna be really good, fellas. She's gonna be really good. Bastion, I mean, he is the definition of niche, which I didn't really even go over these tier lists with the must pick and the meta, great, average, niche, and stinky, don't want to play that hero. But I mean, do we really need to argue with Bastion not being in D tier? He's just always been one of the most unique heroes of all time. He does something really well, which is pump out so much damage, but he is so easy to hit. His hitbox is so giant, so unless in the future they make him a skinny legend, he's gonna always just be hovering towards the lower part of this tier list. People are finally figuring out about Cole Cassidy's magnet grenade with the body or headshot hit combo is lethal, especially if you're a Tracer or a Genji. I'm sure you hate Cole Cassidy, you think he's A or even S tier. No, I still think he's B tier. And there's so much meta relevant DPS to play given the tanks. I mean, you're gonna play Reaper for Winston, you're gonna play Sojourn for Roadhog because you can get away and just farm on the Roadhog. You can even play Junkrat and just spam. So with Cole, yeah, if they have flank heroes that you need to stop, if you don't have a Winston, you might want to play Cole, but other than that, he just doesn't do anything special. His ult is trash still. The Drive by Echo. This is a hero that low-key gets a little bit overshadowed given that Sojourn is super meta relevant for the longest time, and Tracer and Genji have been popular in season 1 and a little bit in season 2. If they don't have a hit scan, you're literally gonna be uncontested and you can get so much damage on literally any single tank. Against the Roadhog, you're not gonna be getting hugged. Against Winston, you're not gonna be getting dived. And paired up with a great ultimate to just initiate team fights with if if you copy any single tank makes her an A tier hero. Just as soon as they switch on to like hit scan heroes, like a popular hero like Ashe or Soldier, then it's like, okay, maybe she's B tier, but I feel like Echo is a way better Pharah. She doesn't desperately need a Mercy, but if you have a Mercy, that's good too. I ain't buying into the Genji hype. Nah. I'm seeing Winston's demolish all you Genjis. I'm seeing you all want to believe that he still can be this super powerful hero that he once was in season 1, but he's not. Gosh dang it, he's only great. He's only great. Genji is one of the highest skill caps in the game that, yes, even if they do have a Winston, a Moira, a Lucio boop you away when you have an ultimate, if you just learn to manage their cooldowns and manage your cooldowns, you can make anything work in it, and he can still be super powerful. The only reason why I'm putting him in B tier is because he did get heavily nerfed with his damage, and I'm just not buying into the hype. It doesn't make him a bad hero, but for the general population, no, especially with the Winston still being super powerful, And hot gamer boys and e-girls everywhere, we have gotten to the biggest hot take in this whole entire tier list, and that is with Hanzo. I think he is the most annoying hero of all time. Now, that's not the hot take, obviously, because y'all known this for years. You should come to expect that. But the hot take here is that I think he's annoyingly good. He can get insta-kills from at any distance, short range, mid range, and long range. So that means any squishy that you see, you can just, oh, I got a kill, sweet. Against tanks, you just form storm arrows, and with your dragons, I mean, that can easily get counted just by moving, but if they're all in chokes, then you obviously get tons of kills with that too. That's why I'm putting him right next to his brother in B tier. But now here's a hot take that the community has been having for the past couple weeks, and it involves Junkrat. I didn't buy into the Junkrat hype at the beginning. I thought he was super counterable. Just play a Pharah, play long range heroes, play a Roadhog, play a Winston, why can't I say contest? But with the lack of shields and people realizing that your Rip Tower can secure you one kill, and that's really all that you need to win team fights, people are starting to realize that Junkrat, while he still has a lot of problems with him, he is a glass cannon, he can still be super good as long as he's just not getting shot at. So if you find a great spot and he could just rain grenades, he could be a B tier hero. Now you might think I'm gonna be biased for my girl May because I was biased for Hanzo, and you're right, because I'm gonna say that for like what, the 4th time I'm doing this. May is not good. She's just not. Yeah, she can isolate targets with her wall, but the thing is though, her wall is a little kid's birthday party napkin. You just gotta shoot it basically once, and as soon as they start to walk back, they already got through. So okay, now you either gotta chase them or you gotta icicle headshot, and at that point, well, why not just play a Sojourn? Why not just play a soldier that can get that consistent damage from far away? I love May, but once they took away her freeze, she no longer became a unique hero that can isolate, but also stop a hero that's out of position. Roadhog can do what he did in Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, but May, you can barely maybe slow down a hero, but again, that wall just gets broken down so quickly and heroes can still back away. I'm not asking for them to bring back the freeze, but just, man, she just doesn't justify taking away a DPS spot from a soldier or a Sojourn, anyone DPS heroes. That's why I'm putting him at D tier. Pharah, on the other hand, she does have a unique aspect, and that is flying in the air, but that's also her biggest downfall, and that's why she's easily able to get counters, because, well, she's so vulnerable in the sky without Mercy. Remember, we're ranking Mercy, not Pharmacy. That's why I'm putting her at C tier. I mean, it's such an easy hero to stop. Play a Soldier, play a Cole, play an Ashe, and you make them switch. Like, it's universal for Pharahs to only get one ultimate and then for them to automatically get off. Don't you think so, Pancakes? You think Pharah's easily counterable? Yeah, I thought so too. Here's a reason why you might want to play Pharah, and that is if they have an enemy Reaper. Reaper is super relevant right now because of the tanks. Roadhog's super popular. Winston has always been a notorious hero to try to play Reaper against. Even Orisa as well. Ramattra, maybe not so much, but either way, Reaper is your tank buster, and given the tanks right now, like if this was a Doomfist meta, okay, maybe Reaper wouldn't be so great, but Reaper, he is an A tier hero, no doubt. And Sojourn, she received 2 nerfs. The first one literally did nothing, and the second one that came with the hotfix where they increased her spread, that did the trick, making it so that she wasn't a double S hero, where we only had that 2 times in the history of these tier lists, where Reinhardt was one of them and Sojourn was the other one. But I I think she's still the go-to DPS hero. The fact that you still have your insta-kill ability with your railgun shot, that if you're good, you should be able to kill the Mercy, kill the Kiriko, kill the Sojourn, kill the Soldier. So that's why I still think she's an S tier hero. Now, admittedly, I have started to see Sojourn a lot less, and I'm starting to see an influx of Reapers, so maybe if they nerf Sojourn for whatever reason one more time, and they bring the Roadhog nerfs, Winston is going to climb in the tanks, which means Reaper is going to see an influx as well. So we might see Reaper in the S tier, and then Sojourn be in A, or maybe even B tier. Sojourn, I still believe in the hype. I still believe she could be super powerful if you're super powerful. Soldier's up next, and Soldier's just consistent. Like, if you want consistency, he is your go-to hero. He can burn down a Winston bubble. He can be long ways away from the Orisa and just farm her. And even against Roadhog, while Roadhog can easily counter Soldier, I mean, if you're just popping shots in from long distance, then Soldier can be good too. Like, that's the only reason why I think Soldier can be great, but that's a good reason, is the consistency. He contested Sojourn for a decent amount of time in Season 1. So overall, I think Soldier can be a great meta-relevant A-tier hero, but again, there's just other heroes that maybe want to swap off a Soldier for, like for a Reaper, or if they don't have a hit scan, swap onto an Echo, or if you have a Mercy, swap onto Ashe. But a hero that you don't want to swap on to is Sombra, and my poor little baby, they nerfed her to the ground. Sombra is the most niche hero of all time. If they have a Hammond, obviously play Sombra. If they have a Doomfist, play Sombra. If they have a Genji, play Winston. Why do you want the DPS to swap on to Sombra? No. Sombra's a D tier hero. Symmetra. I just gotta ask you guys, who do you think is more toxic? Symmetra mains or Mercy mains? I think Symmetra mains are way more toxic because Mercy mains are confident in their hero because they know their hero is at least good some of the time. At least in this meta, yeah, Mercy is great, but there's times where Mercy is good. Symmetra, when was the last time she was good? Huh? Oh, bro, you whack, you don't know. You just don't know about the teleporter. You mean the teleporter that only you're using for your Symmetra sentries? Yeah, that teleporter that's not really being used all that much. The Winston that's diving onto you, the Sojourn that's sniping you, the Pharah that's shooting down at you, the F tier that you belong in. Yes, Symmetra mains, I'm coming after you. Look, I'm only being toxic because you're toxic towards me, but the reason why you're so toxic is because you gotta fight till the end for your favorite hero. But if they have reworked her like 3, 4, 5 times, there's a reason for it, and it's okay. We're here to comfort you and ask you politely to switch! See, Symmetra should take a page out of Torbjorn's book because what he does is very unique. You place down a turret and it's accurate 100% of the time, as long as they don't have like a bubble or a shield or a wall that they hide behind. So, okay, maybe it's not accurate 100% of the time. Defense on push and even on control, and even though we lost 2 CP, that was a great time to bring out Torbjorn. Not so much in Overwatch 2, so I don't know why I'm talking about it right now, but that's the reason why I like Torbjorn, is because he's always doing damage, not so much getting kills, but if you're just hanging back and just firing a rivet gun, you can be very annoying, man. That's why I'm putting him at C tier, because he does the job of a DPS well, but he just doesn't finish the job. Tracer. Are we starting to see the fall of flank heroes? Are heroes like Tracer, Genji, and Doomfist gonna get outshined by the hit scan meta with Soldier and Ashe and maybe even Widowmaker? Quite possibly, but Tracer, she can hang on her own, and just like Genji, the high skill gap is nothing to forget about. She can contest the Kiriko, contest the Mercy, great popular support heroes right now, and even DPS heroes like an Ashe or a Soldier, she can easily harass. You just gotta be very careful and know where those health packs are. So I'm gonna be putting him at A tier. Just be on the lookout for maybe a Roadhog hook, because that could stop you really quickly. Final DPS hero on our list is Widowmaker. Widowmaker I've always thought was a high tier hero, mainly all dependent on the player's skill, because she is very simple. Just have good aim and you're good. It was always what was on the enemy team, and right now Roadhog, Orisa are really popular. The only issue that you might run into is a Winston or even a D.va. These are still 2 heroes that can contest you very well, and at that point, then you're gonna have to switch off. But if they don't have those dive heroes, and if they're persistent on playing the hog, you just gotta shoot those, you just 2 squishies, just shoot those 2 squishies, and you can be an you could be an A-tier hero. There's a lot of great DPS heroes to play, but then again, you're switching on to a lot of other great DPS heroes. Like if you're playing Widowmaker, they have a Winston, you're gonna swap on to Reaper. Now we're gotten to the support heroes, and Ana has always been a great high-tier hero. The only problem right now is what makes her super useful, her anti-grenade, is just completely countered by the Kiriko cleanse. And at that point, Kiriko is just a better hero because it stops Ana. Even though Ana can still be a great healer, so can Kiriko. And at that point, you kind of become a little bit obsolete unless you're really relying on like a nano boost Genji or a nano boost, really anybody. So I'm putting her at B tier because she's a great healer, but she can also get countered. Baptiste, he's really great with immortality field, and his window is super helpful if you have a Soldier 76, if you have a Sojourn, heroes like that. But if you don't, then you're just kind of wasting time playing Baptiste because your abilities aren't really being utilized. So I mean, put in Baptiste right next to Ana because why play these support heroes when there's better healers and better support heroes to play to counter and help enhance your team, like a Kiriko. But first we gotta talk about Brigitte. So Brigitte's not good right now. She's not in a good spot, and I think the biggest reason is that she has to put herself in such vulnerable positions at the front line. And with a Roadhog and an Orisa, those heroes can just easily dunk on a Brigitte, or just literally anybody can shoot the Brigitte's shield and kill her. And the thing about supports is that they are the most like important puzzle piece with this team comp, and if they fall, then you're not going to be able to win the team fight. Plus, on top of that, her heals just kind of blow. So unless you're getting a lot of DPS with Brigitte, she's an F tier. She just like needs something done to her, but also not, because we don't want another goats meta. And here we've gotten to Kiriko. So I kind of alluded to Kiriko being one of the better support heroes to play, and it's all because, well, if it Ana antis the Hog, you just cleanse the Hog, and at that point, Hog can just go and run rampant and get a bunch of kills. That's what makes Kiriko so good, is that she enhances her team composition, but by herself, she's a great healer, decent DPS, but if you just want to just spam heals, you can do that too. So it's kind of what I said beforehand in the season 1 tier list here in season 2 that hasn't really changed all that much. That's why she's a must pick hero, because she quite literally cancels out what once was one of the greatest healers of all time and makes it so that Roadhog can be one of the best tanks of all time. Now, assuming that your Kiriko is actually healing the team, you can play a Lucio with a Kiriko. Like right now, the team-oriented composition is Winston, Kiriko, Lucio, Reaper, and maybe a Sojourn. But obviously, we don't play together as a team, so Roadhog would probably replace the Winston, and even so, that makes it even better because Kiriko can easily help out the Roadhog, and Lucio can speed boost the Roadhog to get into the enemy backline and kill the supports, kill the Widow, kill the soldiers, kill anybody. That's what makes Lucio an A-tier hero, because he is such a great complement to Kiriko. It's just, you gotta be sure that the Kiriko is actually healing your team, because you're probably not gonna do enough heals compared to what Kiriko could do. Now, Mercy's up next. Now, like I said before, we never like to rank heroes based on a Mercy pocketing them, but we can easily rank Mercy based on the heroes that she can pocket. A Sojourn, an Ashe, an Echo, a Pharah. Those are great, or maybe not the Pharah, but those are great heroes that you can get a lot of value just by blue beaming them. And I always am hesitant to rank based on the pocket ability of Mercy, because Mercy mains, they don't want to be seen as a blue beam hero. They obviously want to be seen as a support hero, but you're a support hero. You're supporting the DPS. That's what makes you a great A-tier hero, okay? Okay, I'm not saying that all Mercies need to be pocketing, but if you pocket an Ashe, ooh, if you pocket a Soldier, ooh, if you pocket Roadhog, ooh. Moira, she's an easy hero to play. Like, if you struggle playing support, just play Moira, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get a lot of value. She is just stagnant. You do the heals that you do the damage that you do, and you don't have a lot of room for, like, table turning moments. Maybe with your ultimate, but there's just not a lot. That's why she's just a C-tier average support hero. So much better support heroes to play. If you want to support your team, play a Mercy. If you're actually good, you play a Kiriko. If you want to be Reddit, you play Lucio. And then Zenyatta, I mean, people learn to navigate the kick, and for flank heroes like a Genji or a Tracer or even a Doomfist, you're just so vulnerable. Discord is super great against big beefy tanks like a Roadhog and Orisa, so do not forget about that. But other than that, if you're not utilizing the Discord, you're just gonna be dying, and when it comes to supports, you just need all the help and sustainability that you get, and with Zenyatta, he just doesn't have it. That's why he's a D tier hero. And this is my Overwatch 2 tier list for season 2, but you're gonna see I made a few changes. Usually with these videos, I always like do them and I never change the placing of some of these heroes, but I looked at it, it's like I looked at Reinhardt and D.va and Widowmaker, and I also asked the opinion of others and what they thought about it, and I actually rose D.va up to B tier, I dropped Reinhardt down to D tier, and I also dropped Widowmaker to B tier for Widow because Winston could easily still counter them, and D.va because if you want D.va hit scan, well, D.va's your girl, and Reinhardt, he's just not the guy right now. But also realize that even after these changes, there's gonna be some people that think, well, why is Ashe right next to Reaper? Or why is Mei at D tier? You're just being biased. And why is Sojourn still at S tier with Roadhog? It's just like, the whole point of these videos is for fun. And maybe if I'm starting to get anxiety when I make these videos and post them, then maybe I gotta take a step back and not do them so much because, well, then I'm not having fun. But realize that this is all just for fun. If you're gonna make fun of me, then do it tastefully. Do it in a funny way, because if you're not gonna be funny about it, then why even do it? But anyway, guys, hopefully you're enjoying season 2, because at least in my opinion, there's like some good heroes that you can switch on to, especially in DPS category. There's just also still some must-pick heroes. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.